What is going on to you, Capricorn? So you have the King of Wands, Ten of Pentacles, and you Capricorns have the Hanged Man. 10 is the number of Capricorn, but anyway, so um, it's the weekend. There's a lot of wildness happening here, so please excuse. But the point is that for you Capricorns, so there's a sense of battling that you Capricorns have in your mind right now, of the ideology of like you are looking for someone that isn't overestimating themselves, that isn't putting themselves so much on a pedestal to the point where they start thinking that what they bring to the table, if they bring anything, is worth more than the actual relationship and what the relationship means, right? You know, you don't want someone that's throwing something back in your face because you may have done something wrong one time. So the Hanged Man represents you essentially want to make sure that you're getting this right and that you're very patient about and meticulous, right? You're very particular about who it is that you want to hang out with. And you don't necessarily have to be too particular, because being too particular is how people end up not finding anybody. Excuse me. But you want to be particular enough to where you just don't get played based upon your choices, right? The point is to be meticulous or particular enough to know what it is that you want, but at the same time not so meticulous to the point where you play yourself. You don't get anything whatsoever, right? For instance, an example of this is when I say things like, I don't want anybody that has offspring. It's not, and the thing is, once again, it's not anything personal. It really isn't. And I've even gone on to basically talk about why I don't want anyone with little ones, because that would be me blocking. That's another obstacle. I've been there. I've done that. Actually twice, but I've been there and done that, and no, 3 times actually. But I don't like it. I don't like it. Not only that, but want someone that has honor, integrity, you know, an open mind. All of this, you know, all of this high horse stuff, you know, a lot of, you know, people tend to think that they're on this high horse. I don't, this high horse and all of that. I don't like all of that. You know, I don't like all of that. You know, we're supposed to be a team. It takes 2. It takes a team. We're not just gonna, you know, you playing like you the celebrity and I'm the tag along groupie fan and all of that other type of stuff that's chasing up on after the celebrity. We're not doing that. We're not doing that. You treat me like I'm a second-class citizen, like I'm trashed, and I'm just going up on out of your life, you know, like you don't, you know, you ain't gotta ask me twice to leave. So the thing is that's an example of that. So a lot of you Capricorns want to make sure that, you know, you're actually getting to know a little bit about the people that you're getting to know, right? That you're seeing. And that's another thing too. The 4 of Pentacles and the 2 of Pentacles. Not taking anybody seriously until you get a little something to know about them, right? So again, you Capricorns are very much so getting on all the correct things. So far, so good. Because you're correct. You never want to get yourself into a relationship where you've never asked these people questions at all. And I know this to be true. You know, some people have contacted me on the low. I'm not going to say who. Shout outs to those people, right? There's no beef between me and them whatsoever. I actually appreciate that kind of feedback. I appreciate it. But the point that I'm trying to make here is, some people contact me on the low and they'll be like, yeah, I don't, or they'll say it in the comment section here, you know, thank you, I don't, it never occurred to me to ask questions. It never, and yeah, you have to, because you have to get to know the person. You have to find out something about them. You know, moving too quickly and ignoring obvious things because of the panic. You know what I'm saying? And the truth is, a lot of people are panicked. on both sides a lot. So I'm not, again, this ain't me like this I don't have a dog in the fight. This is not me talking about one side. This really isn't at all. This really isn't. This is me just saying, this is me just saying it for what it is. So the point that I'm trying to make here with that is a lot of people are panicked. A lot of people don't know that. They didn't realize that they should have actually been asking questions. And it's like, yes, because you have to get to know the person. How do you get to know the person unless you ask them questions? So there's a sense of you Capricorns not budging until you find a little bit something about them. And over time, you're supposed to find out more and more about them. You're supposed to learn more about them. You know, one of the first things that I ask somebody in the first place is, you know, where they're from, what's their name. If I don't, like, if their name isn't explanatory or something like this, from like a social media or something like this where they have their name up, I'll ask them their name. I'll ask them where they're from, what they like to do, right? And I'll learn them in time, because I got to get to know who it is. That must be my cat, but I got to get to know who it is that I'm talking to, right? How am I going to be in a relationship with somebody? So a lot of you Capricorns understand that this is what you need to do, and that you're not going to budge until you find out something. If a person is hard to talk to as you're asking them questions, that's a dub, because what that says is they are expecting you Capricorns to just essentially overlook, just run into it quickly and just overlook what you got going on, right? The fact that you're supposed to be getting to know them. Now the Four of Cups, the Knight of Swords, and the Two of Wands right here, right? The Four of Cups represents how, again, stay away from anybody that makes it difficult for you. You try to get to know somebody recently who was doing this same thing, but you may not have necessarily known exactly what you were looking at. I'm telling you what you were looking at. If you ran into this person recently, this type of person recently, you got to stay away from them. Stay away from them, because all it is that they got going on is they just want to put you in a situation where you don't actually ask questions. You just sit there and just accept the fact that things are working quite well. So you just have to stay away from that type of stuff in the first place. And then you have the King of Swords and the Page of Wands. These two cards right here for you Capricorns represents how you have to play it smarter. You have to be a lot more wise. You know, a lot of, you know what I'm saying? How do I say this, right? A lot of people don't want you to ask questions, because like the type of people that get upset when you ask questions, those people you got to stay away from. It's a dub, because how do you expect to get to know the person and you don't know anything about them, right? This is why this is part of the reason why a lot of celebrities are breaking up. They, like, for instance, like Young Jeezy and Jenny May. No, I think it's Jenny May, or Jenny Mai. Anyway, Janae, whatever. The point is, right, this is why it is, shout outs to the both of them, but this is why it is that the both of them broke up, is because they missed obvious problems, deal breakers that they should have actually paid attention to. And see, that will tell you if you're compatible with the person. What creates compatibility is your own value system and another person's value system. That's how you understand compatibility. You understand what I'm saying? When you are getting to know somebody, right, you're not supposed to brush over deal breakers if they have any. You're supposed to actually ask, okay, what's this about? And then you're supposed to find out, okay, what are they doing to help solve that problem on their own, to make sure that that deal breaker isn't going to be something as to why the two of you would break up in the future. Because a lot of people out here, I'm telling you, Capricorns, a lot of people don't know how to be approached. There's so many, and don't know how to approach other people unless it's dysfunctional. Because I'm telling you, Capricorns, there's been many a times when I've talked to some people. They're not even necessarily Capricorns, but whatever it is I want at the time, right? And they just happen to be the type of person that I want. I walk up to them to get to know them some more, and it's weird interaction, or online, or DMs, or face-to-face, weird interactions. What do I mean when I say weird interactions? I'm talking about trying to get to know them, talking to them, and like it's this non-starter conversation. It's like I don't really trust anybody that I don't really know. I don't really talk to anybody that I don't really know. But how you supposed to get to know me without a conversation? Okay, now you playing a game. Okay, I'm trying to turn you down easily. Okay, two things with that. Number one, if you're trying to turn me down, just say no, thank you. Just say appreciate it, but you're not my type. No, right? Respectfully, no. Whatever it is, right? Just say no. Stop wasting your time. Don't waste any more of the person's time, right? Be true to yourself. That's number one, right? So be clear, right? And number two with that is when they say stuff like that, I already know their love life is in shambles. They're not gonna, all of this high horse that they sitting on top of, and all of this fantasy that they have, it's not just it's not a fantasy, it's a delusion. Show and prove. Because someone who is healthy, they're not, to say something stupid like that. I don't talk to anybody that I don't know. You ruin your value saying that. The person ruined their value by saying, because say something that makes sense. Say something that's a valid reason. Say something that makes sense. You don't really, the thing is, they didn't have a reason why. And the reason why they don't have a reason why is because it's not because there's not a reason. There is a reason. The reason is they're looking for a particular type of person. But this is where the stupidity comes into play, because they're looking for a particular type of person, my dear Capricorn, but at the same time, they're still ducking and dodging accountability. Here's the thing. They would be able to actually not ruin their value by saying that dumb stuff if they were to actually embrace who and what they are. That the fact that they're practicing dating up. They're trying to look for a particular type. Or dating down, but they're trying to look for a particular type. See, in order to get what it is that you want, you have to embrace who you are. That's, I shouldn't have. That's too much. That's a whole other video for another day. That's too much gaming on itself. We're going to go ahead and talk about that later on in the future. So let's clarify the King of Swords. That's too much game. The Nine of Wands, the Ten of Cups, Queen of Cups, the Fool, and then you Capricorns have the Two of Pentacles. So to clarify the King of Swords, you being smarter with your choices, the Nine of Wands, the Ten of Cups, and the Queen of Cups, because not everybody deserves you, right? You're gonna, you hearing some people, you walking up, you talking to some people, you approaching people, people are approaching you, but then it's like your conversation, you're not the average Joe. You're not an idiot. So because you're not dumb, a lot of you Capricorns are showing people that they're not going to come to you on some nonsense. They're going to have to actually have common sense. They're going to have something extra than just money in a body per se, right? So the Fool and the Two of Pentacles, and you're starting to realize that they are not sociable. You will ask questions and they shut down because they don't want you asking questions, which is why part of why relationships don't work. So you Capricorns are starting to see the holes in people's game. That, where you going to? Okay. But that's pretty much it. Peace.